It was just pure Yes! Don't you dare buff it, you piece of garbage. Don't do it. Just leave them alone. Let me Rancor and gain so much armor. Please, 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 please. Oh, he trolled. He trolled. He threw the game away, basically. Unless he does something, like, crazy right now, the game's mine. Commencement doesn't do anything. He's so bad. This is what I have to play against. This is what I was almost gonna lose against. Thanks for the armor, sucker. Got him. But humanly can. I mean, Bladestorm's fine as a precaution. Venomous Scorpion is just a good card to generate resources. Like, these are all good cards. I'd get rid of, like, Brawl or something, but I don't know. That's incredible. Only reason why I want to deck like Pirate Warrior, is because I hate grindy matches. I either want to win by turn 5 or 6 or lose. Oh, Coin Incanter's Flow. Would be a shame if that card were to be nerfed, because this is super balanced. 2 mana on turn 1 for 25 extra mana. Well, that's great. Love that. Super duper fun, I guess. I don't know. How could they not nerf Incanter's Flow, man? That was like the card I was excited to see nerfed. I was sitting there waiting, itching for it, you know? I was like constantly refreshing the Hearthstone page to finally see that Incanter's Flow nerf, so I didn't want to like stop playing the game. And then it never came. I guess Rancor is probably fine. I already have a Bladestorm. Rancor could deal with like a wider board maybe. I don't know. 3 mana instead of 2? Honestly, that would be fine. At least it would make it a little bit clunkier to keep in his opening hand. Because that way he can't go like Incanter's Flow Coin into Ruined Orb. Or Incanter's Flow into Arcane Intellect. Like he'd have to choose between impactful turns. And why wasn't Alexstrasza nerfed? Dude, I know. Oh my god. They didn't nerf so many of the cards I wanted to see nerfed. Alexstrasza, Incanter's Flow. Okay, I don't really have as many off the top of my head as I thought I was going to. But they're there. They're in the noggin. They didn't buff Warlock like at all. They didn't buff Shaman the way I wanted them to. They said they were going to buff Demon Hunter. They said they were going to buff Demon Hunter, and they teased it. They're like, Demon Hunter is a card that you need to look out for, because it's one of the ones that's going to get buffed. The buff for Demon Hunter was making one of their most useless cards go from 2-2 to 2-3. Like, who cares, man? Truly, who cares about that? I mean, it's a nice buff. It's a nice quality of life change for the class, but like... Sheesh, dude. You gotta be kidding me. I'm gonna have to start just gaining more armor, I think. That's how I win the matchup. I don't know why I traded there. I need to just armor. What do you think about N'Zoth going from 10 to 9 mana? I have no idea. I think that the balance team for Hearthstone is on drugs while doing this. Or here's my other theory, right? Maybe not the on drugs part, which there's nothing wrong with, I guess. Having a good time, but not if it affects millions of players who play your game. Anyway, here's my other thought process. They didn't, like, tease the nerfs until a couple hours before they went live. So my thought process is they were sitting there having a good time. I don't know what kind of activities they have in the Blizzard offices. Maybe they have like ping pong or whatever. Some of those companies do, playing ping pong. And one guy's like, "Hey, did you made the nerfs, right?" Like it was a group project. And they were like, "You did that part of the project, right? Like you did the nerfs, and we are just gonna like present it to the boss later." And they're like, "What? I thought that was supposed to be your job." And the other guy was like, that was his job. And everybody's like, "Oh shoot, we haven't actually designed any of the nerfs yet. And we were supposed to release them or like tease them yesterday." And they just threw something random together. And they're like, "Here you go. That's the best we can do in 2 hours work." Trust me, I know a lot about procrastination because that is like all I've done in college for the past 4 years. And that is procrastination work. That is bullshit you threw together to like look like you tried when really you don't know what you're doing. Like, that is what Blizzard did. Trust me, as a professional procrastinator, I guess not professional because I don't get paid to procrastinate. I get paid in knowledge, right? Like, that's college. I get paid in knowledge. No, I'm an amateur procrastinator, but like an expert level, you know? That is the sign of procrastination. Where it's just they just threw shit together. And they're like, what cards do we think we need to buff? Deck of Chaos. People wanted to see that card get played. Let's just buff it a little bit. Why not? Randomly generated Deck of Lunacy off of Babbling Book into another Incanter's Flow. Glad to see Incanter's Flow wasn't nerfed, though. That's super sick. More armor. Well, that's rough. Throw it out there. I'd rather use Karagath to kill something and guarantee to get him into my deck so he doesn't get Devolving Missiled. Another mask. How do I interact with it? Would be a shame if we here at Blizzard came up with cards that can interact with the opponent and develop boards, rather than slowly but surely beating them to death with spells that do 10 damage for 6 mana. What? I mean, I'll Karagath and kill that off, honestly. Nourish to draw 3 for 1. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. And they cost even less now because he randomly generated this Arcane Luminary that basically just makes all the cards he draws now basically just 1 mana every single time. But don't worry, guys. Refreshing Springwater was nerfed. So don't you worry about a thing. Refreshing Springwater was nerfed. Therefore, the deck is now balanced. You fools. How could you ever think that this deck wasn't balanced now? Well, anyway, we go Brawl, we Minefield to kill off something, whatever is left, because they all have 5 or less HP, and then we just armor. Boop, 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 pass. Like, it wasn't even like the Deck of Lunacy was created off of the Incanter's Flow, right? It's not even like you had a choice between 3 cards. It was just pure Yes! Don't you dare buff it, you piece of garbage. Don't do it. Just leave them alone. Let me Rancor and gain so much armor. Please, 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 please. Buffing 1's fine. Buffing 1 is fine. Do it. Buff 1. Buff 1 of them. Please just pass. Don't make me Bladestorm this. No! If he does use Survival, I play Karagath. Right? Oh my god, that's a 0 mana draw 3. I play Karagath. No, think this big brain. Then I Bladestorm, kills my thing. And then I draw... Oh, he trolled. He trolled. He threw the game away, basically. Unless he does something, like, crazy right now, the game's mine. My phone buzzed. Commencement doesn't do anything. He's so bad. This is what I have to play against. This is what I was almost gonna lose against. Thanks for the armor, sucker. Got him. Ooh, sheesh. Let's just equip the new weapon now. I mean, it saves mana, puts an extra card opening in my hand. It's fine. I don't want to play Rancor. Ah, Coerce is fine. Blade Storm. Don't play another minion. Just pass. Just pass. Just pass. Just pass. Isn't Hearthstone such a fun balance game? This guy managed to lose this game. That's crazy. Oh, you son of a gun. I'll just kill it with this, I guess. We also have time to, like, armor up as well, so that's nice. If we can get a shield maiden, that'd be sick. That's fine. Maw, Blade, and Hero. I mean, I'm gonna complain. I mean, I don't know. I complain about Priest, Mage, and Warlock the most. Warlock just because it sucks to play against, right? Priest because it's RNG, but at least it's not like super broken. And then Mage. I've actually said multiple times that I don't mind Paladin that much because what you have to do to play around it is very linear, right? Like it makes sense. He gets to fill his... he's not even going to lose in fatigue. He buys even more time in fatigue. Oh my god, I'm losing my mind. Oh, he's going to put more cards into his deck and he's not going to die to fatigue. I'm actually losing it. There's no way. There's no way. There's no way, man. Oh, I'm losing my mind. You've got to be kidding me, man. I mean, I can kill one. Oh, I'm taking so much damage, but we know what the cards in his deck are. Oh my god. Oh, that's sick. Okay, that's great. Gives me a little bit more time to, like, buy time. Armor gain of some sort, please. Oh my god, we got another Rancor, though. That's pretty sick. If we can draw Barrov and Rancor, that'll be pretty good. I'm just saying. Throwing that out there. That was a very clever and creative play by the Mage. I mean, it actually was. I put an extra card into his deck, which means he's going to lose in fatigue one turn later. Which is, like, you know, it was a fine play. I don't hate it. Like, it is annoying, don't get me wrong, but, like, it was a fine play. I don't mind it at all. Still just frustrating. 267 viewers and only 123 likes. That's kind of weird, champ. Kind of cringe, actually. So if you would just get that number up there, boost my spirits a little bit as I get blasted time and time again by this monstrosity. Oh my god. How many more cards are you going to be... I mean, he's almost out of cards, right? So we just play, Karagath? No! Why would you get that off of deck of Luna? There's no way, man. I said he managed to lose, but he actually wins the game off of that. He actually wins the game off of that. I'm not even kidding. That play wins him the game. This is Mask of Cthulhu right here. And I lose. I don't really care that much about that. Would I have liked him to be in the deck? Absolutely. 100%. But he's in fatigue. We know he has one cycle of hatred, one force of nature. Okay. Okay. Cycle? No, you can't cycle. It's full cost right now, right? Oh, do we get to Rancor again? There's no way we get to Rancor again. Oh, he does get to cycle of hatred. Oh, it makes a copy of the what? That blows my mind, actually. That blows my mind that that's how it works. We Blade Storm, and then we Rancor. Suck on that, Killer Seal. Oh my gosh, you can't win anymore. Please just lose. He already played 2 masks, but I was assuming these would generate him more. I can't believe when they come. Oh my god. This guy is just like, you think I'm out, but I'm just getting started. I've still got a whole hand worth of spells. Bruh. It's fine. We've got Shield Maiden for 5 more armor. We got Coerce to kill whatever minion he ends up playing. That's fine. Maybe. Runed Orb. Generates another spell. It'll be Mask of Cthulhu, obviously. You know, Mask of Cthulhu. Ping me. Mask of... Okay. Could be Mirror Entity. Let's see if it's Mirror first. Tis not. Is it gonna be Netherwind? Well, armor. I want to gain maximum armor, so I want to Hero Power and Shield Maiden on the same turn. Because, like, technically, I gain less armor right then and there, but I gain more armor over the course of 2 turns. Thank God. Oh, thank goodness gracious. This man, this guy, this person actually managed to lose this game. Jeez Louise, man. Oh my gosh. Athletic Studies generates resources. That'll be good to go. And we got Corsair Cash. So that's also pretty good as well. To draw me a card. Thin out my deck a little bit. Speaking of thinning out my deck, the win condition of this matchup is Fatigue. And normally, I'd say 80% of the time, it'll work out for you. I want a Karagath. We don't get a Karagath. Then I want the Fleet Hoof, because I'll be able to corrupt that with Shield Maiden. Easily enough, I guess. I guess I don't play Karagath on 2 or 3 unless I, like, absolutely need to.
You don't pick the ones.
I still can't believe they didn't nerf Flow. Trust me, man. I don't think anybody can believe it. Outrider's Axe will be good on turn 4 to kill this off. This turn 5 is pretty good. I feel like of all of the nerfs and buffs I've seen Blizzard do, this has got to be probably the worst one I've seen. Maybe I'm missing something. Maybe there are nerfs and stuff that I'm forgetting, nerfs and buffs that I'm forgetting. But I think that this was the worst set of buffs and nerfs I've seen from Blizzard, and they nerfed and buffed 15 cards, which means like it's one of those things where if you close your eyes and just throw darts in the general direction, you would think that you would hit the board a couple of times. Or more, like, but they missed almost every single time except for Crab Rider, Shield Maiden, the buff, and First Day of School. Other than that, they missed the mark on basically everything. They didn't buff Shaman the correct way, because it still drastically lacks draw. They didn't buff Warlock correctly. In fact, they nerfed it with Hysteria. They nerfed Hysteria for some reason. Like, yes, Priest is problematic, but, like, it's not even... It was a good card. I will say. It was definitely a good card that should have been looked at. But considering the fact that both of those classes are bottom 7 in Hearthstone right now, didn't need to be nerfed. Mage wasn't nerfed in the correct way, like, at all. He gets another Veil Weaver and One Maker. Is that big of a deal to me? I don't think so. I think I just play Heart of Cthulhu to get it out of my hand, so that way he can't, like, Elucia it later. Why is Warlock problematic? Warlock is problematic because of Ticketus as a card. Ticketus burning cards is very unfun to play against, which is why people don't like the card, even though it's technically not overpowered. And I think that's one of the reasons why they decided to nerf the card in the first place. He's going to end up overdrawing a card. If I had Scoundrel right now, my god, the game would be done. Game would be over. Kill this off, please. I don't want to use my weapon charge right now. It's not what I want to do. I'll take a Broomstick. I feel like Broomstick is decent. I mean, it could... Worst case scenario, it combos with a Venomous Scorpid to kill something off guaranteed. I will pass. He loses a Scorpid that's pretty decent. Do you think Control Warrior can beat Control Warlock most of the time? Your style of play will have to change. It'll have to be like literally draw like no cards, but also save every little bit of removal you can. But also no. If they end up getting Jiraxxus, they'll just win. They outvalue you. This deck will lose to Warlock every single time, but I think that this deck can actually beat most other decks in the game. Whether it be like fairly even or like Warrior favored. Is Kerrigan necessary? You need them from studies. I mean, it really helps into Priest matchups. That'll go into Fatigue. Or just slower control matchups in general that might go into Fatigue. So I personally would say yes, it is kind of necessary, but you don't have to look into it if you don't want to. He can't quite play a Lucia yet, but we're going to still drop this and Hero Power. I'm really hoping for a Scoundrel. Like, Scoundrel literally wins me these matchups. And I can't seem to draw them into Priest. So just concede versus Warlock. It's like Priest into Warlock. You just accept the fact that you're probably not going to win it and move on. It's not a good matchup for you. Like, there's no harm in that, right? Like, every deck is going to have good or bad matchups. And if you know that, like, the reason why I don't mind, wait a minute. I'm having to think here. We trade Minefield, I think. Trade Minefield and then just armor. And then just armor for now. We can play the Venomous Scorpid with the Broomstick. That's what I want to play at some point. Anywho, the reason why I concede immediately into some of these matchups is because I don't want to wait that long. Like, Warrior into Warlock, I value my time, and I know that at the end of the day, I might just end up losing barely. So, oh my god. I'm telling you, man. Scoundrel, please. We don't care about that, minion. Do you think it's worth it to disenchant Control Warlock to craft OTK Demon Hunter? I'm not a fan of just randomly dusting cards. I think that, like, as soon as you dust those cards, the mini set will come out and Warlock will get some love and be like a good class. Oh no.
This world holds many terrors.
We'll kill it because we need to. And then we'll kill this off. Another axe. That's fair. That's fine. I don't mind that too much. Dual class cards are problematic. Nerfing a card because one class uses it and it's strong, but thus weakening an already weak class. Perhaps Blizzard should have thought of that before making dual class cards. I mean, to be fair, Hysteria is a really strong card, right? Hysteria is really, really strong. But I just don't think it needed a nerf to begin with. Like, yes, people bring up the fact that, oh, but in your polls you brought up the fact that, like, Hysteria should be nerfed. Or do you think Hysteria should be nerfed? And just because I put it in a poll here and said that should Hysteria be nerfed, doesn't mean I also believe it should be nerfed. And 59% of people said that it shouldn't be. That's 5,000 people who voted on this poll, and most of them, the majority said that no nerf was needed. And yet it was still nerfed. Like, I'm not a fan of that. I'm really not a fan, but I'm not Blizzard, so I don't know what I'm doing, I guess. I guess if, like, the entire community agrees on something, it's still not a good idea. I'll save this as a combo starter for Coerce. It seems pretty free. I don't want to equip a new weapon yet, because if he has Acidic Swamp Ooze, that sucks. I should also still end up winning this game in Fatigue with Karagath Blade Fist late game. So we'll end. Now Jandas has better 5 drops, right? Yeah, that's why she needed to be nerfed a while back. Blade Storm is probably good here. Is it Blade Storm here? Or is it Broomstick with these two things? No, we'll go with Blade Storm. I feel like Blade Storm is a less clunky removal than this. What's your win rate with it? With what? This? Or Warlock? Because Warlock, it's like below 50% or about 50%. It's really not that good. But this deck, I don't know. I've been really, really unlucky with this deck. Like, I've drawn some of the worst draws I've seen in a long time. So, I think my win rate's like 2 and 4 right now, but that does not like accurately reflect how good or bad this deck actually is. Player Acidic Swamp Ooze. Prove to me that you have it. Clown Corrupt Warrior might be better. Nope. I've tried it, and I don't think it's better. We have Rancor. We have the first piece of the Barrens puzzle. It's fine. Do you think that Rush Warrior is still on top? Yes, I think Rush Warrior is still really, really strong. I think Rush Warrior is still one of the strong. Like, I'm gonna make a tier list after all of this comes out, and talk about what I think the strongest decks in the game are. Okay, well, this is fine. We actually just Rancor this. Like, we're never gonna get a better board to Rancor. And even though we're going to face tank 8 damage, we're still going to end up positive quite a bit. And it's just because I want to save Coerce. I'm greedy with Coerce. I'm greedy with it. You know how it is. Oh, maybe I should not have done that. If I end up drawing a Cthulhu piece. Okay, we drew a Scoundrel. Okay, this is actually really good that we have a Scoundrel now. Rogue is in a better spot now. Yeah, I said Rogue was going to be top tier. I think it goes Face Hunter, Rogue, Token Druid, Rush Warrior is the top 4 decks in the game. And then Paladin is still decent. But, those are the decks that I would say are, like, insane. Cool. Okay, we play Scoundrel. We make him overdraw a card. Hopefully it's something good. And we'll make it be the worst of them. Like, what's he gonna do with a Holy Smite? I'll Holy Smite his minion. I will then just Hero Power pass. He lost a Devouring Plague, but I still forced him to draw a card, so he's still behind in the Fatigue battle. It's fine. But yeah, I think Rogue is in a really good spot. Karagath Prime. I do like the Prime. I mean, he probably runs a Lucia, right? But we don't have a Cthulhu piece, and that's all we really have to worry about, right? Losing a Cthulhu piece. Because then we'll still win with Cthulhu, come late game, and we'll be fine. Rally? And he actually gets minions? He's cracked. Do I coerce that? I don't want to. Do we draw a Cthulhu piece? We do not. Okay, we don't draw a Cthulhu piece, so we just go Karagath Prime, slam into this. He's probably going to Soul Mirror it and gain 10 armor himself, but I'm not that concerned. Sword and Board or just Hero Power? I feel like Sword and Board can be used on better things. Miracle Rogue? Well, Miracle and Secret Rogue are very, very similar. I think that they're both near top tier, if not both potentially top tier. This guy's name is Scam Lord. It's very fitting because he's playing a priest. I told you he was going to play Soul Mirror on the 1 minion to gain 10 armor. It's a pretty good play, but ultimately it's not that big of a deal. Maybe I should have killed it. Do I regret not killing it? The answer is a little bit. So we know that those are the 3 cards left in his deck. I feel like Samuro is pretty useless for him. But it's actually not useless for me. Boom, it lives, and then we can Sword and Board it and kill it off. So right now, here's the problem for him. If he randomly generates or has randomly generated a Raised Dead, he might get a Whelp. And I'm hoping he gets a Whelp and doesn't get, like, super lucky, you know? So we've got Barrow of Bladestorm still. We've got 2 Cthulhu pieces that we can play on demand if needed. And he's going to lose to Fatigue sooner than I am. So we go face. We'll destroy a minion. I just don't want him to Elucia and steal it from me. We still have plenty of removal in hand. Again, he's going to go into Fatigue before I am. I have 3 cards to his 1, and then Cthulhu goes in, which is then 4 cards, right? So I think I win. I don't think there's really a way he comes back, but I don't want to, like, say that and have him miraculously get, like, the perfect miracle card and win. Do you think Crab Rider is still a thing in Rush Warrior? I would personally take it out, but I think it's a little bit better in Warrior than it is in Paladin. Like, if one of the decks that ran Crab Rider was going to still use Crab Rider, I would say it would probably be Warrior, because at least you can use it for its, like, intended effect. Okay. Oh no. And then the HP is staggered. No, wait, we just do this. Bladestorm. It's not bad. I'll just pass, it's fine.
I am out of cards.
What should we put in instead of Crab Rider? I haven't theory crafted anything for that deck yet, so I'm not sure. But I definitely will think of something. I was thinking the 4/5, just off the top of my head. You don't have to do this by any means. I'm just saying like this maybe. I was thinking the 1/5 or the 4/5 guy that that has Frenzy draw a card. It's still a rush minion, and it still fits with the deck's theme a pretty decent amount. And I think it's pretty good. Coerce. You got Cthulhu in the deck. I don't know if it'll be good. Like, don't hold me to that, but I think that it's at least okay. At least a valid temporary replacement. If you think about it, Spring in 5 is good for Ring Toss, and Deck of Chaos is, to 5 is good for Lunacy, because there are nearly only good 6 cost options now. You know, that is kind of true. That is kind of true. So I just play Cthulhu. I mean, he's probably going to die soon. You might as well just play him. Before he, like, somehow steals it from me. We kill off his minions. He'll die to fatigue in a turn or two. He can heal up a little bit and maybe survive one more turn, but he's probably dead. It doesn't count for my deck. I've had this conversation with chat before. I thought that it did, but all of them were like, no, 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 no. It doesn't count because the Cthulhu pieces aren't based on the deck, it's based on whether or not you played it. So technically, right, since he played the card, he gets the Cthulhu piece trigger, if that makes sense. We'll play this one real quick, see if we can get anything to kill it. We'll just go with Coerce, murder it, Hero Power Pass, let him die to fatigue. We'll play the Bulwark super late game. Bulwark's also good into fatigue because it can stop fatigue damage too. Like, I can play it, and if he has nothing else on the board, we can stop like 5, 6, 7, 8 fatigue damage and buy myself even more turns. But, I think we win.
This battle is yours.
Why didn't they nerf Omayog? I don't know. I think that it's just, the unpredictability of Omayog is my main problem with it. It's like, I can't figure out how to play around what happens. It's not like Counterspell, like, okay, boom, it gets stopped, right? I'm fine with that. Counterspell is a well-designed, good card. Omayog potentially screwing me over, playing something that overloads me next turn, potentially killing my own minions, doing something that, like, overdraws me or any number of things. Just the unpredictability of it is not good. Because even if it does something good for me, I still don't know how to use that. It's still not, like, not what I made my deck around. Does that make sense? Like, I just don't like Omayog for that reason. So Control Warrior actually got a pretty decent buff, and before I get into this, I want to say that I do plan on maybe trying a version where I try the Whirling Combatant, but for now, I'm just trying a version where I throw in the Shield Maiden because a 5-mana 5/5 that gets you 5 armor is pretty solid. Like, a 5-mana 5/5 that does anything is pretty solid, and this ability really helps into damage-based matchups like Mage. And it also can win in fatigue versus matchups like Priest. In fact, the Priest matchup, although the games are really, really long, are generally favored towards you. Into the Priest matchup, just throwing this out there because I lost a game because I didn't do this. Make sure if you use Karagath and you trade him in, he dies. Don't let him get soul mirrored, because once I saw him get soul mirrored, then the person played Raised Dead got him. Played Raised Dead, and then played 2 of the Gift of Luminances to make 2 more copies, and then Raised Dead again, and had like 6 Karagaths in his deck, and I just lost. But against every other Priest, I won, and against Mage, I won, against Hunter, I won. The only bad matchup was that one deck that I lost, and Control Warlock with Tigidus still, which was kind of annoying, but ultimately, there's not much you can do against a matchup like that. Sometimes you're just gonna lose. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. In terms of mulligans, I would say that the best thing to do is go for Armor Vendor, Athletic Studies, Sword and Board, Corsair Cache, Minefield, Blade Storm, Venomous Scorpid, and then Blade Fist and the Axe are actually pretty good as well. And I wouldn't necessarily keep some of the removal if you're into something like Priest, but if you're into something like Hunter, definitely keep it.